I will be in business 21 years as of May this year. I was established in '99, but we opened our doors in May of 2000. Would I consider myself social? Well, if you went to my high school days, I was on the basketball team. I did a bunch of things in school, but you never saw me in the yearbook. So I'm not exactly someone who likes to be on film. I'm not super social, but because of this business, it's forced me to be more social, yes. What were my first thoughts about COVID? Well, everyone was confused at the beginning. People said, wear masks, don't wear masks. Some people thought it was just the flu. As time went on, you started to learn more, but at first, everyone was just confused what it was. How did I think COVID would affect me at the beginning? At the beginning, business-wise, I thought we would only be closed maybe 2 weeks because the way they were announcing things, that this could just be very temporary and, not much to worry about. And then I made an announcement when we closed that we'd be back in a couple weeks, but that didn't happen. Well, as it went along, just like anyone, we got worried. Even though this is an essential business, I had to make a decision to close down if I wanted to help the customer. I know this sounds strange, but I felt a moral obligation because we're a pawn shop, we're in the banking industry. So if I closed down, I would be able to forgive their loans for the time I'm closed. And we were actually closed down for a whole quarter, so 3 months. And then we forgave everybody 4 months worth of their loans. And I think I was the only pawn shop to do this, but we didn't advertise it, except we did put it on our social media and our answering machine and let the customers know. So that way they would not feel that they were pressured with finances, because a lot of people were losing their jobs, and I technically had no pay for a quarter too. So it was touch and go, let's just say that, for a while. What did I think about wearing masks? Well, at the beginning, I will admit I was someone that didn't want to wear masks. And I thought, I can't breathe in them very good. I actually have 1 1/4 inch lung capacity myself. I have an underdeveloped diaphragm. And so I can last maybe 30 to 40 minutes. When we opened, we are behind these big plastic shields, which you're not seeing at the moment. But if we come out where the customers are and we're within 6 feet of them, we wear our masks. So yeah, we do. At the beginning though, just like everyone was confused, nobody was real sure. So at the beginning, I was probably one of the ones that really didn't want to wear a mask. So during the past year, what did I struggle the most with the COVID season? Is that what you said? I struggled more financial, of course, just like everybody. No income for a whole quarter, 3 months of no income was rough. I did get a second job, so to speak. I already had, a third job. I already had another job, and I do help out with a church. So I was able to help them during their shutdown period. So it kept me busy. Even though we were pretty much quarantined, I do a lot of tech work for them. So I was able to run their services and do everything and set them up for online because of COVID and get all that going. So yeah, but as time went on and we knew we had to open, we set up everything made sure with the health department, checked in with them what to do. I was able to get a decent amount of cleaning supplies during the shutdown here and there, even though it was tough. So we do go through a lot of cleaning supplies, keeping everything safe for everybody. But yeah, it's definitely been almost a year now, and it's been interesting, let's just say that. Well, no one's gotten COVID. 2 of the employees are fully vaccinated now, and we've been very safe. We spread out pretty good here. We do wear our masks and do social distancing. We do enforce masks in the store. And we've not had any problems at all ever since we reopened. And yeah, I think it's been pretty good. During the very beginning of COVID though, I think I had it because I had a lot of the symptoms and things, and it was a very, very bad flu, and wasn't sure. But other than that, yeah, everything's been okay. Oh, how has COVID affected me mentally? I would like to think it's strengthened me mentally. And now why I would say that is, it's definitely humbled me. Not having an income when you have a business and still having bills to pay. And yeah, I would say it humbled me. So mentally, it was stressful, but I found myself able to stay busy doing more work with the church. And the other job I have was closed down too. But I would say it sharpened me a little bit, put me definitely caught me off guard, but kind of kept me on my toes, so to speak. How was business in the last year, the COVID year, the year everyone wants to forget? Well, this is the ironic part. We were expecting a huge loss, okay? But crazy enough, out of all the years I've been here, we've always done okay. You know, there's years we've broken even. We've had one year that we lost some money. But the COVID year, we just got done doing our taxes. We actually were able to show a very tiny profit, which was amazing. And the only reason for that is because I have a lot of great customers, and they're like family to me in a lot of ways. So when they were able to come back, some of them were almost in tears. We're like, I don't owe you the money for this time. I'm like, no, you don't. And so I've got a very good, happy clientele here. And because I treated them the way I'd want to be treated if I was in their shoes, they've been very good to bless us with income as far as they buy from me. And COVID's done some strange things with supply and demand. There is a lot of demand for video games and things that I sell here, and the supply chain is just dwindled down to almost nothing. I mean, you can go to Walmart right now and you'll be lucky to find a PlayStation 4. I mean, a 5, forget it. But we were able to still be fully stocked when I opened, so we sold so much stuff that we had probably one of our best months, probably like, let's say 2 months after we reopened after the shutdown, and that really did help us a lot. Well, do I think my business would stay afloat? I would hope so. I definitely never take anything for granted. That's one thing I learned about the COVID shutdown. I don't take anything for granted. I'm very humbled to have anything that I'm able to get. And we've been here going on 21 years, so I would like to think I could still make it. I did survive a recession, and technically I almost considered it a depression, what we had, but we were able to still maintain, so I'm very, very thankful. What do I think's been my lowest point? Well, some would say the shutdown would be the lowest point. I had the longest staycation I've ever had in my life, but I would actually like to think that that was something I needed, not just as myself. I enjoyed being able to tackle the shutdown. I was able to refocus and get things going in the proper direction. But I'd say the lowest point was probably when it all first happened, and I saw that the death counts were, you know, I realized at first I was one of the people that wondered, is this real? Is this some kind of fake thing? But then when I knew some people that actually passed away from COVID, that's when it hit home. That's probably was the lowest point. And then I did a complete 180 on how I felt about how to treat COVID. And so all our family, you know, we social distance from people that we miss. We used to hang out with these friends of ours that were there every week. We would wine and dine and have fun, and it's a new norm, as they say. And so that's the lowest point, is probably, even though I'm not a super social person, giving up some of that socialization has definitely been the low point, I would say. How have my children dealt with COVID, considering one of them's here? I would say that they've done better than what I would expect. My daughter is more of a socialite, so I was more worried that she would probably maybe have some depression. But I would like to think our faith has kept us very strong, and that's one of the things that I hold on to. And that's been something that's probably helped them tremendously. Family as a whole, you would think when you're locked in a house for 3 months, you would probably be at each other's throats, but quite the opposite. We found time to have fun, do things we wanted, even though you're in a house. You know, board games became something again. A lot of things as a family we were able to do. And in the hustle and bustle of life before, we found even being able to eat family together as a family wasn't always possible. Now it's something we treasure, and we do it every night, so it's great. Being interviewed can make me nervous sometimes, but this is fine. No, it did. I would say anxiety, and I mean, you can look at the stats, And I feel so sorry for our youth, because I got to grow up in times where we didn't have to worry about a pandemic. We didn't have to worry about these things. But now I feel more sorry for the youth, that they have to grow up with this kind of stuff going on. It's definitely a challenge for them. But I say challenge accepted. That's what I say about everything. So that's how I see this whole thing, and I'm really hoping that it, you know, ends up becoming better than what the stats were showing. I know a lot of people now that they're getting vaccinated, they're able to feel better about the protection that they're going to have and everything that they're doing, and I really think that that's something that's probably mentally helping a lot of people, realizing that there's some kind of protection that they can have. Has my health been an impact during COVID? Now, this is something interesting to me, and I just pointed this out to somebody earlier. I said, I think I'm embracing germophobia. And the reason I say that is I would get every season I would get sinus infections. I have bad sinus problems. I already told you I've got a lung issue that I was born with. So I technically am one of the people that should worry about it, but I've been healthier than I've ever been. I have not been sick ever since the COVID shutdown, knock on some wood, which shouldn't do that, but I actually am healthier than I've been in a long time because of COVID, just because of being aware. You know, it's not like I was licking doorknobs before, but now I definitely don't even want to touch a doorknob. So I guess you could say I've embraced the germaphobe inside of me because of COVID. That's an interesting one. How have my kids been in school during this last year? So being remote at the beginning, I know, was not really fun. You don't, in my opinion, you don't learn as good, especially with what you kids are doing. You need more of a hands-on, you need to be there. So I'm not a big fan of remote learning, but I am a fan of my daughter being homeschooled now, pretty much is what's going on. She also has asthma and cannot wear a mask for all day long. She just can't do it without having asthma attacks. So she's a lot like me when it comes to the breathing. So she's been homeschooled, and she's doing better in school than she's ever been. There's so many distractions in high school, and drama. I mean, no offense, but lots of drama in high school. She has not had to deal with that, and she can get her work done in half the time what it would be going to actually in an environment at school. So I'd say it's been a plus, a bonus. I think that the workload for the kids has been probably about equal, but how it's treated now seems to be better when you can give them time to focus on their own. Once again, like I said before, no distractions, no drama of high school. It's made a big difference. So I think the workload's probably similar. Now when it comes to the workload, as far as now you got technical things of getting on Zoom, doing all that, that's been an addition. But I think teachers realize too that students, you know, have this extra layer that's on them now and more pressure. I think that I think everyone's pitching in to do a good job. So I really feel that it's working out. How's my children's mental health been? I would say pretty good. Like I said before, I was actually impressed by them during the shutdown. You know, when your kids can't, I felt bad because some kids were still starting to get out even a month or two after the initial shutdown when the numbers were still high. And I was real proud of my kids that they would say, well, I'm not gonna go hang out with you tonight because, you know, I'd rather try to play it safe. And I was very proud of them for that, because especially with my daughter, she's also into dance at our church that we go into, and we let our kids make their own decision because they're not really kids anymore, they're young adults. So I was really proud that she decided after a while to quit the dance because she can't, you know, wear the mask for very long, and a lot of them don't wear masks. So she felt that the best thing to do is to be safe. And then I'm also in a class with someone who's almost 80 years old. And so when I saw how it affected the elderly, and I decided as a person, we needed to decide as a family. So when we all decided we're gonna wear masks, we're gonna do what's right, not for us, but for others. I think that I was very proud of everyone that we all pitched in, didn't go at each other's throats, and was able to have good family time, and very happy overall, very positive. Is there anything I want to add? I would say you've done a very good job with this interview. I feel like I would like to add that my hope is that the future will be better. I think as far as technology, I think we have some of the best doctors and some of the best technology that we've ever had. So timing on this pandemic is great when it comes to the fact that we've got technology and we have more science to help us. So I'm hopeful for the future. And I'm hopeful for the future mostly for our young people. I want them to be able to, be tough from what they're going through, but I want them to learn from it and be strengthened by it and hopefully become better people from it. So thank you for this interview. It was very good.